The Paseo Boulevard spans between the 3rd and 5th District. And the people who will be most impacted by are 5th District residents. Of the 14 neighborhoods, 10 of them are 5th District neighborhoods, which includes Trucewood, 4963, Blue Hill, Citadel, Neighborhood United for Action, Blenheim, Tri-Blenheim, Battlefield Heights, Walnut Grove, and both Marlboro communities. Of those 10 neighborhoods in the 5th District, I have not received a letter of support from any of them in support of changing the name to Martin Luther King Boulevard, or Martin Luther King on the Paseo, for that matter. As a matter of fact, I've received letters from pretty much all of them in opposition to it. That is of great concern because the ordinance as it stands now requires the petitioners or anyone who wants to change the name of the street to get 2/3 of the residents on Paseo signature. Now, I've been asking since June, probably about June, maybe late May, for the petitioners. I met with Dr. Howard and Bishop Tober and some of the other stakeholders in this process and said, I would love to be supportive in honor of Dr. King. I've benefited tremendously with the advanced degree, with the finance degree and a law degree and an exceptional career. I can live where I want to live in this city, and I can fulfill my aspirations to be the mayor of this great city as well. But the reality is that this action that we're taking is suppressing the voice of the African Americans that live on Paseo Boulevard that do not support it. And so while I respect the work of SCLC and I understand their affinity to Dr. King as their first president, I do not appreciate, I do not agree with the approach that they've taken to get to this point. I believe it's been politically motivated. I believe that Councilman Lucas has led this in a manner in which I believe has been politically driven and has grandstanded saying that we ought to do this and it's right. He's held meetings all around the city on other ordinances, such as the housing ordinance, and has not held one on this issue. None of my constituents in the 5th District have been contacted by the sponsor of this ordinance asking for their support. And had they given that or worked to get the support of those individuals, I will vote for it. But what's happened is to circumvent a process from stakeholders, property owners along the Paseo Boulevard. And it doesn't matter what color they are, there is a process. But in this case, the people who are impacted happen to be African Americans, and their voices should not be ignored. And so my responsibility as a council person is to be an advocate for my constituents. And while I respect SCLC and the number of community leaders here that I work together with on so many issues, I will not disregard the voice of the community, the actual stakeholders who are impacted by this in this process. This is, oftentimes in the African American community, it gets very fluid. Because you have people who you are with on a number of different issues, and there are times when you have to part issues. And this is one of those instances, and while I respect Dr. King, while I want to honor his legacy, I'm not willing to do that at the cost of the people who are going to be directly impacted by it. I've made a lot of discussions. As early as 8:47 this morning, I asked Dr. Howard, when he sent the most recent communication about the signatures, what has been the engagement with the residents on Paseo. As of now, at 3:49, I still have not gotten a response. I was advised that there have been only 100 signatures from residents on Paseo, and if there are 1,800, as Councilman Reed has said, only 100 of the 1,800 have signed in support of this. That is not a democratic process. That is not the way that we should handle this. And even though the SCLC and African Americans are leading this charge, the people who are going to be impacted are African Americans as well. And I do not think it's the responsible approach for us to take to get here. I think it muddies the waters on Dr. King's name for us to take the approach that we're taking to get here today. I believe if SCLC has been able to get 1,000 signatures, if they want to take that approach and put it on the ballot, they have the ability to do that and let the whole city vote on it. But I do not believe it's fair. I do not believe it's right for there to be a political process where there's pressure put on individuals to take a stance, and how this has been made into a race issue, because it's not a race issue. It's a procedural issue. And I believe that if the procedure had been followed, and we've had over 6 months of opportunity, there have been thousands of dollars committed to SCLC and other partner groups to have that level of engagement, and what they've yielded is 100 signatures from the people who are the consenters. And so while Councilman Lucas and I work together on a number of issues, I am not happy with the way he's handled this process. I believe it's been grandstanded. I think it's been politicized and racialized. And again, I will reiterate, the people who are impacted that are not in support, the 10 neighborhoods in my district are predominantly African American communities, African American voters, and African American property owners, that their voice should not be ignored in this process.
Thank you, Councilwoman Kennedy.